So we find ourselves in one of the urban corners of Tijuana, in a colonia, visiting a school with very noble intentions. You know, it's a very well-known fact that Tijuana is a staging point for immigrants from Central, South America, and other places actually, Africa, European, Eastern Europe, looking to be received in the U.S. As refugees. And while their status is in hiatus, is up in the air, they take up many of the shelters in the city of TJ. Well, we found that it's nestled in one of Tijuana's colonias, so snug that you would not be blamed for completely missing it. In fact, this part that we're in right now, it used to be a dumpster, and now it's actually a school with many volunteers who are helping the children of those migrant families, well, at least have some sort of semblance of a normal life and an education. And we're going to talk with the people in charge of this place right now. Stay with us, folks. It's Crossing South. Every effective project has something in common, someone who is accountable for the effort. So we are here with the person in charge of this lovely school, and she's standing next to me right now.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Estefania.
Estefania, what's the name of your organization?
So our organization is named Yes We Can World Foundation.
Yes We Can World Foundation. Is that a world foundation, or is it something local that has that name?
Well, that was the intent when we founded the organization. We started this 2 years ago.
Ambitious, go global, right?
Yes. The goal is to eventually help around the world because migration is a global issue, not just in Mexico.
Okay.
So we can see what's happening in Afghanistan, what's happening
Right.
in Syria. So right next door to us is the shelter where all these families live. There's around 200 people there, including parents and children.
Okay.
And they're all in a migrant process, meaning that they either just got to the border or they're filing their asylum case, which takes a really long time, especially because of COVID. So these are all kind of in limbo.
So all these families are probably mainly from Central South America?
Yes. Central America and Mexico.
Oh, Mexico as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's the states of Guerrero, León, Michoacán. They have a lot of issues with organized crime and cartels.
That's right.
So a lot of families have been coming up to the border to seek asylum. And I think it's really important for everyone to always understand just like what it would take for you to leave your home.
For sure.
It would take a lot. No one leaves their home because their life is great.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of issues that go into why these families get to here. My background is that my family also came to the U.S. with political asylum.
Oh, really?
So I have a very deep personal connection to
Can I
this
ask
subject.
from where, or is that like?
From Colombia.
Okay.
Yeah, my story, I'm hoping that we'll be able to shine some light on this. I'm happy to share it.
Yeah.
My dad, his life was threatened in Colombia. He was a lawyer. He was a person that was on the good side, and sometimes that's bad. So when I wanted to help, I knew that from experience from my family, and I knew that school is what helped me adapt to a new country.
And that's what you're trying to do with these kids, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
so our school program is basically a bridge program that what we hope to do is to break the ice. So when these families go to the United States and enter the school system in the U.S., that they at least have gotten an introduction to the English language, that they at least understand what their process of migration is, that they at least have caught up to their learning standards, because a lot of the kids haven't been in school for months before even getting to this place.
Yeah.
So we're trying to catch them up as quickly as we can.
Make them plug and play as possible, right? As much as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very unlikely that 100% of these kids will make it across, or families. Does your education help them maybe adapt to Tijuana, to Mexico?
Yeah, so our program covers the requirements by SEP, the Secretary of Education in Mexico.
Right.
We actually just signed an agreement with them on August 6th
Nice.
to accredit everything we're doing. So whether they go to the United States or they go to Mexico, our program will be validated in both countries. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How are the parents and the kids responding to this school?
Well, for the kids, it's a sense to regain their childhood. So if you're a migrant family, this is sort of the best possible scenario you could have, you know, that you could be in a shelter and have your kids continue their education, have a place where they can play, where they can be kids, where they're welcomed, where all of them are the same. There is no bullying here. There is no, you're the odd one out.
The relation between the kids seems to be very amicable.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely all are aware that they're in the same situation, that they're migrants, and that eventually they're going to leave. So you'll hear a lot of the kids saying, oh no, my friend already left, you know, like Diego already left, like my turn is
He
coming
made it
up.
across. He made it across.
Yeah, and it's insane to know that this kids ages 3 to 16 are aware of that. Like no
Right.
child should be aware of going through
sure.
an ICE detention center. No child should be aware of getting fingerprinted.
Yeah.
You know, these are concepts that are very complex and they don't understand it. So that's what we try to do as well. We try to help them understand what migration is, that it's not just like going to the wall, and that there's a reason for it, and that they should be accepting of what it is and try to make the best out of it, because it's something you can't take away from your life, just like anything traumatic that happens to you.
You know, I don't see any of them like stressed. They seem very happy. And as a child, I
Means
guess.
we're doing our job.
Right? Yeah? So how did you get this place cleaned up? It was a dumpster.
Yeah, so we found the shelter first, and then this was a dumpster. There were a couple of trucks that were left here, and I was like, well, we need space. And it was really funny because I'm a very action-driven person,
Yeah.
as you can see. So there was no owner, nobody showed up, and I was like, well, let's just start cleaning up. And sure enough, the owner showed up.
Oh, he did, right?
And she was like,
Why is he
hey,
cleaned?
what is going on in my land? And we were like, we've been looking for you for a week. Where have you been? So she loved the project and said, of course, I'll help you guys out. So gave us a very minimal rent to just pay for the
nice.
space.
Nice.
And then we did everything. And then we brought our bus. So we actually started with our bus, our converted mobile school bus. And then these came along because we had too many kids.
How'd you get the bus?
So the bus, we actually converted in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And Kyle and I, who's also here, he's the co-founder, we had the idea because of tiny homes. Buses like this that get converted into houses. So it's like the new version of an RV.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And because that was going on, I was like, well, if they're doing homes, why can't we do a school? So we started with the concept of the bus because honestly, we didn't think we were going to be here for this long. It's been more than 2 years now.
If somebody wants to support, where can they find you?
Yeah, so if anybody wants to help, they can just visit our website. You can just put on Google Yes We Can World Foundation or yeswecan.world, and you can find us.
YesWeCan.world.
Yes.
Very nice. Can we see some of
Of course,
some of
yeah.
your kids and
let's
what's
go to
going
one
on?
of the classes.
Okay.
So these are some of our students.
Hello, kids. Hello, sweetheart.
¿Quién le quiere contar de dónde son ustedes?
Mamacita, ¿de dónde eres? ¿De Guerrero? Wow, de Guerrero. ¿Tú, hija?
De Guatemala.
Guatemala, wow, pegadito a México. ¿Ah? ¿Y tú, amor? Michoacán, Mexico. ¿Tú, hija, de dónde eres? Michoacán. It's truly endearing to see innocent children flourish despite being in the midst of a difficult situation. Those kids, they're full of energy, and as they should. Hey folks, quick interruption, travel tip right now. When you cross to Mexico, your insurance does not cover you when you drive down. So one of the people you can call are the guys from Baja Bound Insurance. They're a new sponsor of the show, but we've known them for over 10 years. Even before they were our sponsors, we were using them when we're crossing south for our vehicles. They even got us out of trouble when we got into a little fender bender for crossing south for reals. This is no joke. So use them, Baja Bound Insurance. We're giving them a shout out. Hope you use them and hope they help you too. Those kids, they're full of energy, and as they should. So it's very good. You guys are doing your job because they seem to forget exactly where they are, and they're like they were in any school anywhere on the planet. So that's very nice.
Yeah, and for us also, I think hopefully people see that they're just kids.
Well, that's impossible not to see. They're just kids, and it's a good thing for them to continue with their development, regardless of exterior factors. This is often neglected during a crisis.
So
This is the bus school. Wow,
Yes.
it looks so pretty. What grade are they in? What are they learning right now?
So this is 3rd to 5th grade. This is Primaria Alta. And we have multi-grade courses.
wow.
Because they're all in different courses, different ages, our teachers work to do individualized learning plans and lessons.
They don't all fit here. You have to like rotate them
Yes.
to come up here?
Yeah, so we rotate the kids. Everybody gets a chance to be on the bus.
Okay.
And we also have Duolingo. Do you know the
Yeah,
app?
of course.
Yeah.
I'm learning German with that.
Yeah, so Luis, the founder, he's from Guatemala.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we got connected with them, and they actually are our partners in our English language class.
Wow.
So we have iPads. I think, what time is it? In a little bit, we'll bring them out, and then we'll do our English class.
And let me guess, everyone loves being in the bus, right?
Yes.
I know, because if I was a kid, this is where I'd want to be.
Yeah. So we have our little library as well. and they get to read books, and then we have all the streaming services.
Yeah, of course.
So we do movie days
Nice.
for the kids, and then also sometimes we do dancing classes with YouTube videos and stuff.
Very
so,
nice.
yeah.
And there's room for it. There's room for it.
Yeah, these come down, so everything here is made to change.
So, what are your aspirations? Where is this going? Where would you like it to go?
Well, I think ultimately we would want to be in most shelters, if not all of them.
Like your school to go to every shelter have
Yeah.
its campus.
Yeah,
version
so we
of it.
have right now 3.
Okay.
One in Tijuana, one in Mexicali, and one in Juarez.
Okay.
And we have 2 buses right
Wow.
now. So we would like to just keep growing and providing the services for more kids, and hopefully one day go to other places. So as soon as a kid comes into our program, we have an evaluation process in which we determine, with whatever the parent tells us that their background was, and also what we explore in this evaluation,
Okay.
what their level should be. There's a lot of kids, especially Central American, that don't know how to read or write, and they're 8, 9, 10. So sometimes we might be the first introduction for them for school.
Wow.
Especially for our littles, our 3 to 5. This is their first school,
Yeah.
and it's full of migrant children. So
Yeah.
I just really find that this space is unlike any other, really possibly in the world or at the border, because here they can be themselves.
Well, Estefania, you're doing a wonderful thing.
Thank you
It was
so
very nice to
much.
meet you. And we hope that people support you. And we really can't wait for a success story of one of these kids, growing up and coming back maybe and helping, and this turning out into the success story it seems to be going to, thanks to Estefania and her efforts. So, hey, you watching this show, I'm glad you liked the video. Now, if you could please like the video and subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on notifications. It really helps a lot. If you like Baja, if you like what you're doing, if you want us to make more videos, please help us. Thank you. Enjoy Baja. Crossing South. Crossing South. Crossing South.